The B.S Report is a free-flowing conversation that occasionally touches on mature subjects.
First of all,
This is the B.S Report with Bill Simmons.
it might be cool, I don't know. And if it's not, I don't care.
The B.S Report with Bill Simmons.
Bill Simmons works for ESPN. He's also named the sports guy, and he writes a comical sports column. He must be a popular dude.
The B.S Report.
It's got a real dirty sound, like a rusty steak knife cutting through a well-aged steak.
Now.
Here's Bill Simmons.
Welcome to the B.S. Report. A sunny Tuesday here in Southern California. Of course it's sunny. Football is starting in about 49 hours. I can't add. Maybe 60 hours. I don't know. We're taping this on a Tuesday morning, West Coast time. I could not be more excited. It's the fourth year of picking lines with the Cousin Sal, and he's on the Subway Fresh Take Hotline right now. How you doing?
Yeah, buddy. I'm very excited. You know, I was supposed to come in. You had me come in. I wasn't going to do it over the phone, and we had it all lined up that I was going to come in actually last week, and I was going to see the new digs, the deluxe apartment in the ESPN Sky, and then like at the 11th hour, you text me and you said, "Nope, you got to call in." I think cooler heads prevailed, and you were worried I was going to pee in everyone's caramel macchiato down at the new station. So here I am on the phone.
I was worried you were going to go on people's computers when they left them and then type angry emails to me, and then I would get, which is a Sal trick, one of my favorites. You mailed me your picks for the lines. Mm-hmm. I was going to do that, but I really desperately tried to attempt not to see any lines, and I think I succeeded because I do not know any of the lines. And not just that,
I find that almost impossible to believe. You have 1 million tweet followers on Twitter, and granted, 975,000 are spam, but let's see. I mean, people are sending you stuff. I know because they send me stuff, but we'll see when you run the table here how you.
I don't. If I had seen one, I would have just sent you the thing, but I didn't.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Now, previously, we've had a contest of what we're going to do this for, and we never. I lose every year, and you never make me pay up. So you.
I'm making you pay up.
Huh?
I'm making you pay up. We're going to hit you with the sub. We're going to put it on the Grantland Facebook page.
Okay. Yeah, well, you're going to hit me with the sub from 3 years ago? Because that meat might have gone rancid by now.
I owe you two Subway beatings.
Yeah, this is going to be bad. I might be concussed by week 4.
It's a big day for us because we also have our West Coast Fantasy Draft tonight, which starts late, 8:30. A late start. Could be interesting for some of the dads who have young kids who get up really early, who might fade in the later rounds.
Some of the dads and some of the drinkers who have been at it since like 5 p.m. So
yeah. All right. Well, we have a Thursday night game. The Super Bowl champion, Green Bay Packers, hosting the New Orleans Saints, and that's a great game, by the way. Usually on the Thursday night game, I feel like, oh yeah, that home team's definitely going to win or whatever. This one is actually a good one.
This is great, and comparatively, well, I know we'll get to it, but the Monday night games, not so good, I don't think. I think ESPN, you guys talk about football enough that you could get a good game the first week, especially if there are 2 of them. You would think one of them would be good.
Well, the Pats caught a big break because usually that at Miami game is a game that they sneak in like in the week 4 to week 7 range when it's still hot and the Pats fall asleep and they blow it. But I don't think they're going to fall asleep in week 1, but we'll get to that.
I remember that game exactly a few years ago, and you were on a crazy roll for teasers, which I can't even explain that. And you let it all ride on Pats just to beat Miami. I think it was like week 10 or something. It must have been later in the year.
No, it was late. It was like week 15 or 16.
Yeah?
It was the 2004 Pats. I wrote a column about it that year. It was the year that the 3-teamer tease worked every week for like 8 straight weeks.
That's right, inexplicably. Yeah. But yeah, you're right. It's earlier in the year. But anyway, New Orleans at Green Bay, starting us off with a good one.
I call this the Vegas zone. Anything with 4.5, 5, or 5.5. When Vegas looks at the line and they just don't know what to make of it, and I think this fell in here. I have Packers by 4.5.
All right, so we're going to split that because I had Packers by 3.5, and it's 4.
Interesting. A lot of respect for the Saints.
All right, we tie. Yeah, I like the Saints this year. I have them going to the Super Bowl, but man, this is a tougher game than I anticipated on the road.
Hold on. Explain that for a second. So you think the Saints are better this year than last year?
I do.
Because of the running backs?
I like what they did. I think the fact that they're going to run the ball at all is nice.
Yeah.
And I just think they're sort of under the radar. Last year everyone was gunning for them, and there's something to be said about that. And they got something to prove, and Green Bay is a team to beat. So,
all right.
You don't like them?
I do. I didn't think Breeze was very good last year for him.
Mm-hmm.
I thought the stats were there, but I just didn't think he was at the same level. And I do worry that he's a little banged up, just in general. I think, we'll see. But
it's always been their defense for me that's been a problem, and that O'Brien Franklin signing is key. So
yeah. I like them. I also think their division isn't going to be as good this year as it was last year, so that should help them too.
So, but with this game, it's funny. I think it hasn't been like this for a while. But that Thursday night game, I remember 2 years, maybe 2 out of 3 years, it fell right on the number. Because I think they don't, these games are fixed. Let's be honest, and they don't want anyone to feel bad about losing money on the first game. So, could be. I think that could be 24-20.
I think that ends up at 4.5 is my prediction. I think there's a late half-point surge at Packer money is where that goes.
All right.
Yep.
All right. So we start Sunday morning.
Yep.
Pittsburgh at Baltimore. We never gave the Baltimore over-under. I got a lot of feedback on that.
Yeah, you knew when I started jumping around we were going to miss a team. It was a mortal luck. I have the under for the Ravens, just for the Ravens.
I did too.
Yeah, okay.
I think they could lose the first 4 games. I'm trying to see who they have now, but first 4 games versus Pittsburgh, at Tennessee, at St. Louis, and versus the Jets.
That's not easy.
That could be 1 and 3.
Easily. I stared at this matchup for about 10 minutes. It's going to be either Ravens by 2.5 or Ravens by 3. I personally would make the line 2.5 because I think the Steelers are better and I think they're going to win this game. But I am going to say that Vegas gives the Ravens respect, and it's Ravens by 3.
Oh, see, I like it. I like it. You talked yourself right out of a perfect pick there. It's minus 2.5.
Oh!
That's what I had. 2.5.
Wow.
Yeah, I think they feel the Steelers are slightly better, and they don't want to give the 3 up right away.
I judge that partly because it always seems like the Ravens got a tiny bit too much respect from Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe the Steelers are the same way. That's a good one. I still like the Steelers. I'm taking the Steelers plus 2.5.
I have to say, I don't know if this is cheating. You tell me if this is cheating. I looked at the over-unders, and after week 1, this doesn't really matter. But I looked at the over-unders and determined by that how I thought this was going to be. And the Ravens are supposed to be 10, and the Steelers are supposed to be 10.5, so they're slightly better, so you don't give the 3 at home yet.
Very fair. Very fair point.
Detroit at 10. What's that?
Last thing, I think that's a huge game for the Ravens.
Yeah.
It's weird to have a huge game in week 1, but man, if you blow that home game to the Steelers, and you're a game behind, and you still have to go to Pittsburgh, huge repercussions, and also just a bad way to start the year. I would say they have the most at stake in week 1 of any. I'm looking at all the matchups there. Yeah, of any team. Interesting.
It is big for them because the Steelers, we've seen them go the first 5 games without their starting quarterback, and they're right there in the mix of things come playoff time. The Ravens, like we just read off their first 4, they can't afford to fall behind, but I think Pittsburgh's better. Detroit at Tampa.
How's the Lions bandwagon looking right now?
Oh, boy.
It's pretty full.
God.
It's pretty full.
I mean, is there any columnist that doesn't have them grabbing the 6th spot in the NFC, the second wild card spot?
I don't like it. I've done a 180. I went from loving them to now being freaked out by all the people on the bandwagon. I think all the people on the bandwagon are actually going to tear Matthew Stafford's rotator cuff somehow.
Yeah.
I think this is easy. I had Bucks by 3.
All right, you're going to get this. I said Bucks by 3.5, and for some inexplicable reason, the Bucks are only 1.5.
Whoa!
I mean, what is that? If you look at the over-unders, the Bucks are 8, and Detroit is, I think, also 8, right? Detroit's also 8. Well, why aren't they giving 3?
You know what that is, though? A lot of people feel like there's 2 obvious regression teams this year, the Chiefs and the Bucks. Those are the two teams everybody's pointing at. Like, they had a lot of luck last year, easy schedule, now harder schedule. Luck's going to come back to the curve. Those teams are going to drop. And then you have the Lions that everybody likes, and that's just a classic. Man, that's a huge red flag game to me.
Yeah, that is.
I'm picking the Bucks probably.
You taking the Bucks?
Well, just first of all, I can't go against my guy. I mean, not in week one. We've established like a real romance here, and I don't want to jeopardize that. But
you sure have, and you know what? Of course, you know what are you going to do? You're going to let a week go by. You left one of those weird messages on my machine.
What?
I don't even know if I want to play these anymore. Like, it's embarrassing to you. How do you not get fired after a while from these?
I don't know.
Should I play it anyway?
Yeah, I guess.
All right, let me see. This is Labor Day. You called me late last night. So.
I was drinking.
Yep. Okay, hold on. Cousin Sal, sports guy calling in. Got a little buzz going off Kahlua and cream, so excuse me if I go off on a tangent. Sitting here enjoying Labor Day. Another day off from work, which is so ironic because I haven't written a column since the season finale of Hogan Knows Best. Don't get me wrong, I got more mailbags than Cliff Clavin at a postal convention, but that's neither here nor there. I called to tell you I'm worried about the safety of my beau, my kindred spirit, my soulmate, the great Josh Freeman. He goes up against the Lions, who have the DEFCON 5 of all pass rushers. Donikin and Heineken and Barbie and Ken, Dominican Sue, that's his name. He leads the league in OPS, WHIP, BABIP, FIP, ASPCA, and IHOP, the International House of Pearl Jam. I got a message for you, Donikin. Listen here, Fatso. You keep your hands off my Joshy boy, you hear me? You just have to deal with the wrath of the sports guy. Over and out. Kaiser Sose.
Yeah, the Kahlua is always bad for me. Yeah. Why are people so willing to discount Josh Freeman this year? I say that removing all my romantic attachments to my man crush to him.
I don't know. I don't know why Vegas is down on a team like that. In fact, it's sort of like Detroit. Like, they showed promise last year, and now they're getting way overrated. Whereas Tampa Bay, who really looked like they could have won a playoff game or two last year, they've been a little luckier and gotten there. Everyone's down on them.
Here's why. I haven't decided what to do. My preview is going to run on Thursday, and there's a couple of teams I'm on the fence for. But here's the case you would make for Tampa not regressing. They got racked by injuries in the second half of last season. They lost Talib. They lost Gerald McCoy. Remember, and it reached a point where everybody was just like, oh, yeah, that team's going to fall apart. They've lost everybody. And they kept winning. Yeah. So if you're looking at like a possible regression, I would argue that, well, they're a lot healthier this year. Maybe last year was the regression. They fought it off, or I don't know. I'm not willing to rule them out. I still think if you're looking at them versus Atlanta and what Atlanta did and how lucky Atlanta was with the schedule and all kinds of stuff, I don't know. I need to sort that one out. Let's keep going.
All right, let's do it. I have next game Philly at St. Louis.
What a glorious game this is.
This is solid, but I think it's my favorite game of the week, aside from the ones my team's playing. But I also think the Rams are the bandwagon upset pick of the week right now.
Yeah, unfortunately, I agree with you. But Lombardi told me they taped Inside the NFL yesterday, and Collinsworth and Sims.
I can't believe you talked to Vince Lombardi. That's amazing.
I know.
You make more of that.
They had a Ouija board. Man. The Rams look so tasty in this game. I'm going to say Eagles by 3.5.
All right, I said 4, and it's 4.5. So I get that one. And
I don't agree with that line.
3-2, including the tie. We count the tie as a win for both of us, so I'm up 3-2.
Yeah, people don't like that you do that. Can I just say one more thing here?
Yeah.
We have Eagles-Rams and Ravens-Steelers at the same time in the early games on Sunday. That's pretty good.
Yeah, they did nicely, yeah. Especially with New Orleans and Green Bay out of the picture. Yeah, that's good to have an NFC matchup. I
would argue those are the two best games on Sunday, and unfortunately they're going head-to-head.
What about Atlanta? Chicago is decent, and there's going to be a lot of interest in Indy Colts, too. Tennessee Jackson, there's a lot going on.
Interest to see how many interceptions Kerry Collins could throw?
God, everyone's discounting. All right, we'll get to them in a second.
All right.
Buffalo at Kansas City.
Well, the obvious regression team here, the Chiefs. I don't think the Bills can be favored by less than 7.5 on the road. I mean the Bill. I mean getting less than 7.5 points against any half-decent team. I don't think the Chiefs are half-decent, but Vegas doesn't know that yet. I'm going to say Chiefs by 7.5.
All right. I said 6.5, and it's 5.5.
Whoa!
People are down on the Chiefs, dog.
Whoa! Hey, dog, there's no respect for a playoff team there. Holy mackerel. Ryan Fitzpatrick and Arrowhead?
Chiefs at 7.5 wins, Bills at 5.5. Yeah, it could be a little higher. Maybe that goes higher. But they had injuries this week, right? Then they had their tight end is done.
Tony Moke's gone.
Yeah, Baldwin, their receivers banged up. Their draft pick.
Hey, Sal?
Yeah.
Just make me one promise right now.
What is it?
When I text you at 9:15 on Sunday morning, and I say that who are we teasing the Chiefs with, just don't respond.
Okay.
Just no matter how many times I text you and say, answer me, please. I need to tease the Chiefs. Just pretend I'm like a heroin addict coming at you for heroin.
All right. Well, I don't respond to the drunk Josh Freeman, voice messages.
That's good.
Yeah, I'll steer clear of your text. Too.
Do not let me tease the Chiefs this weekend. I'm begging you.
I won't. I don't like that. We're not taking that. Tennessee at Jacksonville. It's sort of nice like that they're doing this early, though, so we could kind of figure out which one of these teams is better.
I think the Jags are going to blow. I'm going to say Jags by 2.5.
All right. I have to say, I didn't believe you when you said no one sent you the lines all summer, but I'm starting to think it's true. Jacksonville by 3, and I thought that was easy. I had that right on.
You thought that was easy?
5-2. Yeah, they're very, very even. So just make it a 3.
I disagree. I think the Titans are better.
You do?
Yeah, I do. I think hands down the Titans are better.
Well, they're both. Again, I had a little bit of an advantage, and you had this too. We did the over/under podcast last week. They're both 6.5 for over/under. So I just had the 3.
I'm making the Titans one of my super contest picks.
Wow, you don't think? Yeah. Chris Johnson, if he's ever going to look a little rusty, it's going to be this first game.
Oh, I disagree. I think he's fresh as a daisy.
Fresh as a daisy?
Fresh as a daisy.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right.
Work that into my phone call next week.
All right. Well, Jags -3. That's a stay away from me. Like I said, I think I like to be able to sit back and see how that lower tier of that division is going to shake out.
I think the Jags are going to be one of the worst 3 teams in the league.
All right.
Yeah.
Indy at Houston.
Oh. Well, there can't be a line on this, right?
Well, this is ridiculous. Now I'm saying that I'm getting the updated lines, but go ahead. You know what? I'm going to give this to you. So.
Is there a line or there's no line?
Yeah, there's a line, and I'll tell you right now. It's assuming that Peyton Manning's not playing.
Okay, yeah. So I picked this assuming that Peyton Manning wasn't playing, and I had the Texans by 7.5.
All right, you're going to get this. I had 5.5, and I was like, well, that's too big, but I'll leave it. And you had 7.5, and I'm reading now that it's 9.
It's totally fair.
Why is that
I'm
fair?
not surprised. It should be between 7.5 and 10 points, that line.
If Kerry Collins is the quarterback of the Titans, and it was
Kerry Collins, they picked off the street 3 weeks ago.
They picked him off what? Oh, off the street?
He wasn't even on a team 3 weeks ago.
Oh, well, that's not nice to say. I mean,
it's the truth. And plus, like the Texans, nobody likes. You can count on the Texans for 2 things: a huge preseason win on national TV, and then kicking ass in week 1 and getting their fans all excited.
Have the Texans ever covered a spread of 9 ever? Ever?
That's a good point. Hey, you know what would suck about that one is betting the Texans, and then like at 12:52 they go, let's go to news in Indianapolis. Oh, there's Peyton Manning warming up. Oh,
Yeah, or they're up by 14 and give up kill them the whole game and then give up a crap touchdown at the end.
Yeah,
I don't know why. Maybe this is just a cynical me, but I think there's a lot of jealous vets on that Colts team that would like to prove that while Manning is out, they could do the job. And it's not Curtis Paint. It's Kerry Collins. I think they have a chance. Dallas Clark hates Peyton Manning. He'll never admit it. Don't even ask him, but it's true. You're going to see.
Listen, there would be no... It's too bad he won a Super Bowl because I would say that this would be the greatest Ewing theory that ever happened. But since he won a Super Bowl, he's ineligible.
All right.
Anyway.
So you get that one. So you're closing the gap here. Cincinnati at Cleveland.
Oh. Yeah. It's a pretty bad matchup. I have the Browns giving 4.5 points.
All right, I had them giving 5.5, and it's 6.5.
Whoa!
And I think you can make that 10. I think they blow them out here. I do.
Sal, please don't let me tease the Browns and Chiefs on Sunday.
Oh, let me say this: don't even worry about teasing them. If you're in like a suicide pool, the Browns are your pick this week. That Cincinnati team is garbage. I mean, they're like the true definition of an expansion team, right? They have like a rookie quarterback. They have a running back who averages 2.8 yards a carry. And I'm exaggerating. Please don't send me emails. But they can't. How would they move the ball? I mean, they lost Owens and Ochocinco. They were a mess. But I will pay your fantasy football league fee if you tell me who the second receiver on Cincinnati is. I mean,
Jordan Shipley. Ha!
What?
You don't have to. Listen.
Is it Shipley or is it Simpson or is it Caldwell?
I thought it was A.J. Green and Shipley were their receivers. Yeah, I actually like A.J. Green.
All right. Well, you just did an AFC draft last night. What am I going to do?
I know. It's not fair. So, the Bengals, it does worry. Just hear me out on this.
Good.
Because Lombardi really likes the Bengals. He likes their defense. He likes their running game. Everybody loves this A.J. Green thing. And the thing everybody keeps pointing to with them is, well, they have a rookie quarterback, so there's no way they can be good. Here's my question to you. Could he really be that much worse than Carson Palmer was last year? I mean, Carson Palmer was terrible. Ooh, I swore. Jacqueline, you have to cut that out.
Let's start the whole thing over.
Just bleep me. I think he deserved to bleep, to be honest.
Yeah. You're furious. I understand.
The distance between Carson Palmer and Andy Dalton, unless Andy Dalton is just completely terrified and basically takes a poop on the field, isn't going to be that big of a distance.
Are you allowed to say poop, or do we have to bleep that too?
No, I can say poop.
I watched Andy Dalton. I think I watched 4 TCU games last year, including the Rose Bowl, and he manages a team well. I don't see him as he doesn't take chances. He's got this speedster and A.J. Green. I think he's going to be terrified, and he's going to be just decent enough. A lot of short passes to the fullback and tight end, and he's not lighting it up for anything tomorrow or Sunday.
Okay, but my counter to that, and then, by the way, I'm not passionately either way on this, but we said this about Flacco. Oh, there's no way Flacco could be good as a rookie. He was good. We said this about Sam Bradford. I mean, he basically took them to the cusp of the playoffs. And then, there is a history of rookie quarterbacks kind of steering the ship and not being a total disaster.
All right.
So I don't know if he's good enough. I don't know enough about him. But I just don't think, it's not like they went from Peyton Manning to Andy Dalton here. They went from Carson Palmer was bad last year. So,
and if anyone is going to maximize Andy Dalton's potential, it's Marvin Lewis. I'll give you that.
I'm just looking at it because I'm trying to figure out a way for the Ravens not to make the playoffs, and I'm trying to figure out if the Bengals could get to 10.
Why don't you like Cleveland better? Why don't you like Cleveland? They're in that division. Why can't they sneak up? One of these teams that everyone likes, like Cleveland, Detroit,
right.
St. Louis. Who else does everyone like? That aren't necessarily that good.
You know what worries me about? Here's what worries me about Cleveland. I had like a 15-round fantasy draft last night. Not one Browns receiver taken. Usually in a fantasy draft, the number one receiver on every team will get taken just because it's like, well, that guy's the number one. By default, he'll get 890 yards and 7 TDs. Not one Browns receiver taken.
Well, I understand that. No, and you're right. But along those lines, where did Peyton Hillis go in your draft?
Went pretty early.
He did.
Yeah.
He did?
Well,
okay. I'm seeing him ranked as like 30th over. I mean, he went earlier than like 30th?
Yeah, he was like third round, something like that.
Because I think like at the end of the year, we said who are the top 5 backs, fantasy backs going into the next year, and I swear we had him in the top 3.
Well, the problem is he gets banged up, and then the Madden curse people now feel like is a real thing.
Oh, God.
They get terrified by that. You know, the other thing with the Browns, I would say the Browns, the Bears, and the Seahawks are the 3 teams that were hurt the most by the kickoff rule, right? So the Browns now, with Josh Cribbs, you just kick it 8 yards into the end zone every time. He's probably going to actually return some of those just to try to get the team going.
Right.
It's gone from being an advantage to a disadvantage, and they got a lot of production just from their special teams last year. I don't know.
Well, I could be wrong, but I think Krebs returns punts, and he'll have about 15 to return on Sunday. So
it's going to have to return a lot of them. Yeah. I listen. I don't know. Andy Dalton's. I didn't get to see him in the preseason. It's one of those things like we'll be watching games on Sunday, and we'll know within about a half a quarter whether he's good or not.
Yeah,
you'll just be able to tell by the way he's carrying himself.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. All right. Atlanta at Chicago. Another good 10 a.m., 1 p.m. game, wherever you live, East Coast, West Coast.
The Bears have been targeted as such a regression team that their over-under actually moved down from 8.5 to 8, which so rarely happens where they actually have to change the win total. And then the Falcons, it seems like people are a little too favorable for. I'm
going to warn you and tell you I picked this one exactly.
I have Falcons by 3.
All right, and so did you. Falcons by 3.
Fair line.
Is this too easy? Is this? Are you gonna?
I don't like it. It's a stay away.
Yeah. Do we see Caleb Haney at any point? That guy should be starting for someone. He really should. He should be starting for Cincinnati.
These teams played last year, right? No. Didn't they play? I feel like I've seen this game before. No, they didn't. Anyway, all right.
All right. Now we're in the late afternoon. Giants at the Redskins.
Well, just going back to the early for a second. So Falcons-Bears is the third best game, right?
Falcons-Bears is third. You have Philly-St. Louis 2 and Pittsburgh-Baltimore 1.
I'm trying to think of what the big screen at Happy Endings on Sunday.
Oh, all right. I think we go Pitt-Baltimore.
Really? Over Rams-Eagles? Wow.
Well, the other thing with Pitt-Baltimore, maybe we should have brought this up. Shouldn't both those games, Pitt-Baltimore, both times they play, it should be played in cold weather. I feel like we're getting ripped off. It's a bad scheduling job. Like
it is
the NFL equivalent to lip syncing. You know, we're getting gypped a little here.
I agree.
Yeah, but that's I know it'll probably be low scoring, but you want to go Philly St. Louis big screen? We can go that big screen.
It'll depend on what we bet on.
Yeah.
All right, late games.
Giants Skins.
I have to say I had the toughest job of picking any game with this one. And I settled at Redskins Pick'em. I did a Pick'em pick.
You said Redskins Pick'em.
Well, Redskins, I have this game even. Pick'em.
Wow. All right. I had the Giants given 4.
Yeah.
And the Giants are given 3.
All right.
Let me look. Wait. Yeah, Giants are given 3.
Listen,
pick them.
Happy to admit I'm wrong. I think those teams are pretty even.
The Skins are supposed to win 6 games. The Giants are supposed to win 9.
I don't think the Giants are going to be good.
You're off your game, Simmons. Yeah, but you can't change it. All right. We'll see what happens week 2. Well, who's going to bet the Redskins at Pick'em?
I am taking the Redskins in that game.
All right.
All the Giants fans. I was arguing with my friend Hersheimer last night. He's a huge Giants fan. It's like, I have you at 6 and 10. Emails me back like 0.2 seconds later. Well, we're going 2-0, so you're telling me basically we're going to lose 10 of our next 14. He's like mad about it. I'm like, look, I think you could lose week 1. I think you could lose week 2. I forget who they have week 2, but it's another like secretly. I think they're home for like the Cowboys. Is that possible?
No, not yet. No.
Or the.
They have at Washington versus St. Louis.
That's it. They're home for the Rams. They could lose to the Rams at home.
At
and by
Baltimore,
the way,
at Arizona. Yeah, we talked about this. Well,
yeah. Well, here's another thing. I've been to a home game at Giant Stadium. There's no worse home field advantage than the new Giant Stadium. Like, you might as well just play that game with no fans. So for anybody to say, oh, the Giants are home, that's going to be a huge advantage for them, I disagree. That place is not an advantage.
Yeah. Well, and especially when they're not even home this week. What are you talking about?
Well, I'm talking about week 2.
Oh, I got you. All right.
I'm saying if they blow this Redskins game, and then it'll be like, oh, well, we'll get it back. We got the Rams at home in week 2. The Rams could go in there and beat them.
It does seem like another sucker bet here. I wouldn't take the Giants. I wouldn't take them. I think it's a stay away.
It's a stay away.
We're not teasing Redskins +9, though. I'm telling you right now.
Let me tell you something. The Giants have been destroyed by injuries defensively. Like
all
the injuries they've had, the season hasn't even started yet, and they've had enough injuries to last the whole season.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a lot of losses on offensive line too.
Are you buying Are you buying the Tim Hightower thing or no?
Yeah, I do, but again, it's like you hear something so much, like, oh boy, now this is a bandwagon. Like, but like I pointed out, one of these teams, the Redskins, the Lions, the Rams, the Bears. Or, no, I guess not the Bears. The crappier teams that people are saying are going to be good. One of them probably will be good. So
no, it's going to be the Rams. I'm calling it right now. It's the Rams.
Bradford.
The Bradford jumper from year 1 to year 2 plus McDaniels. I'm in.
Well, here are a couple other NFC West foes. Seattle at San Francisco.
Yeah, I did not like this game. I did. Where is it? Seattle at San Francisco. There it is. Niners by 3.
All right, let me see if I can find this. I said Niners by 4, and it is 5.5 now. It was 5, so I get that one too.
All right.
Wow, sports guy, hold off on that sub beating for 2012.
That begs the follow-up question: why are the 49ers considered to be that much better than the Seahawks? What am I missing there?
I was looking at the over/under. 49ers 7.5. Seahawks, the division-winning Seahawks from last year who won a playoff game, only 6.
So basically Vegas has told us, we know these teams are even, but Tavares Jackson is so bad we had to swing the line 2.5 points more toward the 49ers.
And by the way, Alex Smith was only named the starting quarterback about 4 or 5 days ago, right? But so you're right. Like, will we ever see an NFC West matchup involving 2 decent quarterbacks again, as long as we live? I say no.
Well, we have Bradford. We just need one more.
Yeah.
Did you guess how many years Alex Smith has been in the league?
I'm gonna the way you pose that question. I'm gonna say 35 years. No, what's it been like? Has it been 6 years? No.
7. This is 7th year.
That's a long time.
I'm going to say he's not going to be good. I'm going to say the jury's in with the verdict on Alex Smith. And the jury says, guilty.
Wow.
You stink.
Wow, that's a long time. Are you sure?
Positive.
Wow. Maybe Jim Harbaugh could suit up. I don't know what's going on there.
Listen, I just think the Seahawks, at the very least, are even. You could just not have Tavares Jackson throw. Just have him hand off and punt every 3 downs. You can win.
Well, here's the other thing. We have an extraordinary amount of fake money on the Rams this year.
Yes.
I'm not sure why, to win this division. So who are we rooting for in this game? Seattle? I guess we'd root for...
I don't want... I don't care. I don't think either of these teams do anything.
I know. I hate that we have to watch these games because you forced me to bet the Rams.
It was a great bet. I'd do it again.
All right. Minnesota at San Diego.
Oh, yeah.
I think you're going to get me here.
I have the Chargers by 8.
Okay, I said 7. I underrated it, and it's 9.
They don't want us to tease this, Sal.
It's a little high. Or am I a little high thinking that Minnesota can win this game?
They're not going to win this game.
No.
This has 38-10 written all over it.
All right. Well, then maybe this is my suicide.
Although, hold on. Wait a second. Hold on. I'm going to have an argument with myself.
Go ahead.
Doesn't San Diego stink every September? They do, right?
Oh,
they start out slow.
Yeah, they go 1-4, and then they need the last game to win the division, except for last year.
All right. Probably, yeah. That line's too. That's a stay away.
Usually take care of the out-of-division games, though.
Yeah.
That's high. That's a little high for week 1.
That's a little high.
I don't
Plus, you have the star cap guys are out for that game.
Oh, yeah. All right, Carolina at Arizona.
Oh, what a bad game this is.
Yeah, they could have saved one of those good games for the afternoon.
I have
those are the 4 afternoon games: Giants, Washington, Seattle, San Francisco, Minnesota, San Diego, Carolina, Arizona.
It stinks. Really? They couldn't have moved it? I hate when they do this. They couldn't have moved
the problem
Eagles,
is
Rams.
all those teams in the West stink, so they have to, when they're home, they have to play late. Make them play early. I'm sorry.
How about this? Eagles, Rams. Make that a late game. That should have been a late game. Unbelievable. I have Cards by 6.5, and I like the Panthers.
Yeah, I had 6.5 also, and it's 7, so we tie there.
Word on the street: Kevin Cobb, not that good.
That's what I'm hearing.
Word of the street.
I just, there's that one preseason highlight of him going long to Fitzgerald. We talked about it last week, and that's going to hold him over for a few weeks, I think. But I'd be surprised if they lost this game.
I'm going to say something just quickly. I'm very excited to watch Cam Newton play in the NFL, and I don't know how good he's going to be, but I think he's just going to be exciting. I'm going to be interested to see him play. And I don't think there's a lot of players like that.
Yeah. Huh? I just hope his dad has a good seat. I hope they hook that guy up.
Yeah.
Well, and they're giving him. Look, he's got 2 solid running backs, right? Every year. Stewart and Williams are, as long as they stay healthy, they'll be good. And he's got some tools. He's got Greg Olsen as a tight end.
And we haven't really talked about this in this podcast, but if you're just thinking about continuity, which I think is going to be the key word that you hear so many times that's going to make your head explode over these first 4 weeks, the Panthers basically brought everybody back. Barnwell made fun of them on Grantland about overpaying to keep some of their own guys, but these first couple weeks, I'd rather look at the teams that kind of stayed together versus the teams that brought in a whole wave of new guys. And I just think it's hard to learn the system, and you're getting to know everybody, you're getting to know the coaches.
You're right.
So possible
Williams,
upset pick there.
Charles Johnson, Thomas Davis, all those are recent.
Well, think about the Cardinals. The Cardinals traded for Kevin Cobb 5 weeks ago.
They did? That's all it was?
Yeah. The free agency, the whole thing started the beginning of August.
So. Yeah.
Maybe it was 6 weeks ago max. Mm-hmm. Comes in, has to learn a whole new system, meets all new coaches. He's got to get timing with Fitzgerald and the other guys. He's all of a sudden the guy. He's moving to a new city. He's got a girlfriend. It's just a lot to suddenly get thrown out there in a game. I don't know. I don't know how people respond to that.
Well, Kevin Cobb's girlfriend can't be. I mean, this is not a Kardashian we're talking about. You can maybe get a lower echelon Real Housewife, but I don't think.
I remember when I moved to L.A. in 2002 to work for your cousin's show.
Yeah. And
the first week I was there, and the only other 2 people in the office were Rick Rosner and Maureen Driscoll, and nobody else had started yet. And I was my head was spin. I was like, "What's going on?" I thought I was working for a comedy show.
Talk about throwing them to the lions. Yeah.
Yeah, I would have had trouble running a team that week. My head was spinning. Yeah, anyway.
All right. Sunday night, Dallas at the Jets.
Oh. Now we're talking. This is a good game.
This is good. This is what I mean.
Very exciting.
ESPN got screwed with their night games. Every other night game is rock solid.
I have the Jets. I agonized over this. Jets 4.5.
All right. I said 4, and it is 4. It was 4.5. Moved to 4. So, and...
Did that just clinch the week for you?
Oh, God. I clinched it before the late afternoon games. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
Settle down. You're like the Texans. You start strong and fade and then down the stretch.
I should act like I've been there before, right? It's 11-6 right now entering the Monday games.
Stop chest bumping the people in your house.
Let me ask you, the 9/11 factor, and does that factor into the line at all? I mean, this overwhelming emotion. Is
Didn't
it
even think
good
of that.
or bad for the Jets?
I didn't think of that.
Because I think the Jets are better than my team. I hate to say it. I think we'll win 9 games, but this is not one of them.
I don't know if...
I mean, you know how it is when they retire numbers or something. There's that big halftime ceremony. It seems to work against the team rather than...
Yeah, it seems to work against the home team.
And we can all say we're affected by 9/11, but it's going to be harder on the Jets, I think.
Yeah, and it puts the crowd a little bit in. All of a sudden, sports doesn't seem as important as it was. It could have weird effect. I do think though this whole week is going to be a 9/11 retrospective. So by Sunday, it's not like it's going to be coming out of nowhere. Like I think we're going to spend the whole week thinking about it. So, but for the game, it is interesting that Barnwell pointed out in his column today the Jets spent $135 million last year on players because it was an uncapped year. You obviously can't do that this year. There's no way this year's team can be as good as last year's team was. They're not spending the same money.
Right.
So I think you can get them. I think you can catch them this week.
I don't know. Some of these other teams that we like are not. The Rams aren't spending that money, and we have them winning the Super Bowl. So. In
my East Coast draft, I had the 4th pick. I took Vic, because it's playoff. You keep the guy for the playoffs. 37th pick, 4th round. Romo was sitting there. It was the last good quarterback on the board. I grabbed him. Couldn't resist.
Really?
I like Romo.
Oh, that's it. So you'll get both their stats for the quarterback for the playoffs, right? Or
potentially, yeah. I could have both of them because we could start 2 quarterbacks for the playoffs. But I feel like if you take Vic, you have to take another quarterback because the odds are you're not getting 16 games out of him. So you want to get the great 12 that he's going to get.
Yeah. If you take Vic, you might as well take the other quarterback that represents the NFC East champion. So, that was a good move.
Thank you. I thought you'd like it.
All right, Monday night. New England at Miami is the first game. That's 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific.
I have the Pats by 7.
I had that too. Let's see if it moved. Nope, it's still 7.
Okay.
Now, let me just say this. It's week 1, so it's hard to get shocked by any result. But this, of all the games we just spoke about, is the only game I would be shocked if Miami Dolphins beat the Patriots. I think we have the Dolphins at 4 or 5 wins this year. Do you agree, or is there another one that you'd be shocked at?
Give me one reason not to tease the Patriots with any other game on the slate this week.
I can't.
Okay.
I can't. Yeah, you're going to have to give me 3 weeks to come up with one.
I came up with one.
Yeah.
Brandon Marshall changed his medication. He feels better mentally. I read an article about that this weekend. Yeah, it's true. He was diagnosed with a borderline personality disorder, and he's on better meds. He's on better meds now, and he feels better.
Oh, all right. Well, can he run the ball? Can he play quarterback?
He can't play quarterback, unfortunately, and doesn't run the ball. But they do think he's going to get along a lot better with Chad Henne this year. I did read this article this weekend. Yeah, so
that's a stay away then.
Yeah,
that's a stay away game.
And then last one, Oakland at Denver.
Oakland at Denver, Monday night.
Stinky game. How is this our second game? Really?
Yeah, I don't understand but it's always sort of like this, right? Wasn't it Chiefs at Oakland last year, and then Oakland beat them, right? Was that right? I know it was an AFC West game that San Diego lost.
It always stinks. The second game's always awful, but usually they have San Diego, and San Diego wins by 28 points. But well, actually, there was that one year when didn't the Chiefs beat San Diego?
Last year, San Diego lost on the road. I can't remember if it was against the Raiders or Chiefs, but
I think it was the Chiefs. I have Broncos by 3.
All right, I said 2.5, and it is 3. There you go. You won the last 2.
I got some momentum.
Yep, but it is 11-8 overall for the good guys. I win week 1. I think with this Oakland Denver, I like these games where we could theoretically cross one of the teams off for the year.
Yeah.
So
how about this? Let's cross both off.
This game. What's that?
Let's cross both off just now.
Yeah, we might be able to cross both off, but can we bet over under kick returns? What would you say, 1.5?
The thing with the Broncos, they are playing Kyle Orton. Like that, they will be better than they were last year because they're playing Orton. They got Von Miller. Everybody said is a monster, and then they got Doomerville back. I'm not willing to concede that this team and John Fox is a good coach. I always liked him. I mean, he obviously wore out his welcome.
2 new coaches going up against each other. That actually is a good storyline. Hugh Jackson, John Fox.
John Fox I think he just kind of ran his course in Carolina. But it sounds like McDaniels was so bad as the Denver head coach that it's like you bring in anybody.
Yeah.
And it's better. It's like when they replaced Kellison as the Kimmel Live producer.
Oh,
it's like
my
just
God.
Anybody.
That is one of your best friends out here, and I pray you leave.
I love Daniel. I don't feel that way at all. I was kidding.
Oh,
but
I know, but I'm going to start such a nice email chain today. That's terrific.
He knows I'm kidding. No, but it's like Josh McDaniels couldn't have gone worse. And now you're bringing a competent head coach.
They hated him
to run the show.
But wouldn't you say the same for the Raiders with Cable? Although I thought he was better than.
I liked Cable. I thought he did well for them.
Yeah, but it was a disaster. Like I think it's the same thing. Like people didn't like him. He had to go.
I thought the players liked Tom Cable.
They did? Who didn't like him then?
That was the second dumbest article I read this weekend, is that the Raiders are expecting...
Oh, that coach that he put in intensive care didn't like him. I know that.
No, that guy didn't like him. The second dumbest thing I read was that the Raiders, they think Jason Campbell's going to have a big year because he doesn't have the shadow of Bruce Gradkowski hanging over him now. Mm-hmm. He knows the job's his.
If
you're being intimidated...
The shadow of Bruce Gradkowski?
Yeah. If that's a shadow that's intimidating you, you might not be equipped to be a starting quarterback. It's just my guess.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's
anyway.
awesome.
Cousin Sal, you kicked my butt.
The shadow of Bruce Gradkowski ranks right up there with the tutelage of Lisa Simpson. Going back to inside Daniel Kellison joke.
I loved it.
Wow.
I loved it. Anyway, all right. So Cousin Sal, what do you got for us this week on?
Well, tonight's the Uncle Frank tribute on the show. Tuesday night show. We're going to be showing old clips, and Don Rickles will be on for a couple segments. He'll say some nice things. He'll probably say some awful things too, but that's what he's like. But yeah, watch. It'll be an emotional show.
And then tonight,
football.
And then I will see you tonight at the West Coast draft. Somebody's getting voted off. I'm going to be so mad if I get voted off. I can't even tell you.
You are? You've gone a few ways with this. You said you wanted to be voted off. You've taunted the guy who you don't really get along with, saying, please vote me off. And now...
Well, listen, I just want to be voted off now. I don't want to have to drive to the freaking place where we're doing the draft and then get voted off. Like, that's going to make me mad. Just tell me now.
All right. Well,
and plus, how about this? He's not going to be there. This is the second year in a row that he's not there.
It is kind of fun to have a villain, though, making a pre-taped message, and I don't know.
When I'm the czar of sports, which Obama, this could be the last thing that might be able to win him, maybe turn things around for him, is to name me sports czar. I'm making a rule that your friends can bounce you from your league if you're not at the draft for 2 straight years. 1 year I can understand, but the second year when it's the Tuesday before football every year.
Yeah. I'm with you. Yeah, everyone should settle in the week of football because it's all football.
It's not like the fantasy draft is coming out of nowhere. We've had it on the Tuesday every year opening week ever since I moved to Los Angeles, right?
Yeah,
so it's not like people are blindsided by it. Well, it's the Tuesday before the opening night. What? We never do it this way. Like, there's no way you could say that.
I don't know who's able to take off work and go to Hawaii, stretching long past Labor Day, but this guy does it. And our fate is in his hands.
All right, Cousin Sal. We will talk to you next week. Thanks, buddy.
Good time. See ya.
So I get to sign off. Whoa!
Thank you for downloading the B.S Report with Bill Simmons.
Too much fun.
Check out more podcasts at the iTunes Music Store or at Pod Center at ESPNradio.com.
Peace out.